Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the 4th episode of
What's up, Talk?
Today we got really worldwide news.
Yeah.
I mean, not much local going on. There's still protests going on around us in North Canton and in Canton, but we got some big news.
There's bigger global
outside.
and national news to talk about.
So, I mean, yeah. Before we get into the news, though, we have our second guest star.
Yes, we do.
This man is a man.
That is, yes.
Quite the man.
That's a way to put it.
He announces for a living,
He
he talks for a living, so I think he'll be a good guest.
He's not. He's gonna need to find a new profession.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't.
So, without further ado, I'll just. You got a new mic.
Of
so
course.
everyone sees it's
the Wii
Tobii
Motion
remote
Plus.
with Wii Motion Plus inside, of course. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Sorry, you just walked around the corner. Please welcome the.
Come on.
Please welcome the one, not the only, Matt.Kiraly. Yeah.
Introduction.
There he is.
Good to see you guys. Welcome. Thanks for having me on. This is a blast. Wow.
You guys couldn't see it.
What an intro.
he was out there like dancing around.
Oh yeah, I was going
like swinging. Oh my god. Yeah. So welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. This is a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, man. Anything I can say?
Nothing really. I've heard great stuff about these two. Oh, that's the camera. And I've watched a couple episodes. They're great, so I'm very excited to be here.
Sweet. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
No, literally nothing to plug.
No,
nothing.
All right. Sweet.
Get into it.
Well, we'll get right into
The first news story.
Yeah, it's the first news. So you found this one. I'll let you talk about it.
Lebanon protests are escalating as their currency takes a dive. And if you're wondering just how bad their currency has gotten, if you want to pull up the next tab here, for those of you watching on YouTube, you can see. For those of you listening, I'll tell you. 1 United States dollar is equal to 1,511 and 36 Lebanese pounds. So, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah. Like, okay, so I went to Mexico a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought it was crazy that, like, a T-shirt would cost, like, 200 pesos.
Yeah.
This is worse.
You go over
By
there,
far
they
worse.
got the $1,500 store. Like,
Yeah.
you just walk in there, it's like
$1,500.
$1,500 generally. It's very popular in the nation of Lebanon.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's it's 15. Yeah, I mean,
That's just not
it's
it.
crazy.
That's just.
So, and not only is that crazy, but people are now protesting.
Yeah. Well,
And
it looks more like riots.
well, it's more like riots.
No,
But, I mean, I would
be
be rioting too.
Yeah, we'll make this
Oh,
full screen
definitely.
here and just you just see a mazel. How do you pronounce that?
Molotov.
Molotov, yeah.
Yeah, Molotov cocktails, throwing them at the police.
Is that a police
That's a
officer?
big word.
That is a police officer. Shooting tear gas. They're all,
Dude,
yeah, so yeah, they're just rioting. I mean,
is Lebanon, is that like a third world country? Or is that... I don't know much about it, to be honest.
Not a whole lot of people in this nation know about Lebanon.
With how their currency's looking, I'm going to assume it's not the best politically or
Yeah.
economically if their currency has taken such a dive like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would riot too if
Honestly.
It
$1
looks like-
turned into $1,500. Like, that is actually insane.
Yeah, man. They probably...
Yeah.
They're hitting the... Oh, he just hit it with a baseball.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
Right.
throwing
Oh,
the
there
tear
it
gas,
goes.
throwing the tear gas back at police.
They don't know how to react to that.
So, yeah.
That's our first story.
Of course.
Yeah. Listeners in Lebanon, we have any...
What's going on?
What's going on, man? Keep us updated in the comments.
That's all we have to say. What's going on?
That's it. That's all you guys got. What
Keep
is
us-
happening in
keep
your
us-
country?
Keep us
I mean, what
updated
more is
in
there
the
to say?
comments.
The
If you're listening,
Lebanese
drop
audience
a
for this
comment.
show is just up here. I mean,
Yeah, subscribe if you're from Lebanon.
Another international story, which we have up next.
The next one, yeah.
Um,
this one's good.
Yeah.
So basically, these technicians went in to repair like the cell towers
In Peru.
in Peru,
okay.
and there's a village. I'm assuming it's like
It's more remote. I'm
yeah,
gonna
more
assume.
remote, and they thought that they're installing 5G to give them COVID.
Yeah, so
Huh.
they think that 5G
Because that
will
actually is a theory.
transmit coronavirus, because apparently that is a pretty popular rumor that's being transmitted
In-
there.
Wow.
So they
Yeah.
have taken
in America too.
Yeah, they've taken what was that? I think 8 technicians. Yeah, they've taken these 8 technicians hostage, and they have not released them yet. That's all. Yeah. That's all it says.
Yeah.
That's it.
So here,
I don't know.
People looking, here they are. All right, and is it here?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Hankavelica.
Yeah, region of Peru. Detained 8 technicians who were repairing an antenna over fears that their work would spread COVID-19. The villagers mistakenly believed that the workers who had come to fix a wireless antenna were installing a 5G technology in the area. False claims linking 5G to coronavirus have been widely shared online. Obviously, as scientists say, a connection between the two is biologically impossible. You cannot send a virus over a cell signal.
I saw a protest about this in America, and it was this woman, right? Mm-hmm. And she was like, "My kids are sick. They're over there struggling in the car. But I have to be here. But they can't be here because all your phones have 5G.
Holy Karen.
Well, dude, this is
yeah, Karen, right? And I was like, I'm watching it. I'm like, well, if you think that the 5G gives you COVID, why are you there?
Well, you know the 5G is a bad thing was all started by Russian propaganda.
Really?
And it's actually the signal is so weak. There's a video where this guy, he's in New York. Mm-hmm. He has 5G, steps under an umbrella, back to 4G. The signal cannot even go through an umbrella.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so it's really not that strong.
Yeah, but people are
it's just a simple piece of fabric stop the whole signal. So it's I know obviously there's new technology coming out and it's going to be obviously stronger, but radio signals are not dangerous. It's the different type of radio wave.
You see the links down there? It says, "No, 5G does not spread coronavirus," and then Twitter bans incitement to attack 5G.
Yeah, people think it's bad, but it's not.
That's just I mean,
it's just a
I subscribe to some conspiracy theories against the government, but this one.
But the 5G is just. I just do not think that
this is just.
Unless you're climbing up on the cell tower and you're gonna sleep right next to the transmitter,
I don't.
I think you're gonna be okay. Yeah. I think you'll be fine.
Nothing's gonna go wrong. Yeah, that's crazy. They're holding them hostage.
Yeah.
Poor guys. Just went out to do a job.
Just trying to fix an antenna. Next thing you know,
trying to help them.
Held hostage.
Yeah, trying to help them.
Imagine they're the people accusing them of trying to spread coronavirus, and they're
yeah,
it's just fixing the.
No. You guys don't have service.
I work for Spectrum Internet. I'm just fixing the.
I'm just trying to work my 9 to 5. Chill.
Seriously.
Yeah. So I don't. Anything else to say on that? Anyone got anything?
No.
Well, our last news.
National news now.
Yeah, we're back in America.
This is
and
U.S. of A.
Scroll up here so I can get the whole title. Yeah. Seattle Autonomous Zone has armed guards. Local businesses being threatened with extortion, police say. Some of you probably don't even know what this means. Let us explain.
Yeah.
You want to...
You can go ahead and explain.
Okay, so basically... You want to scroll down a little bit so I can kind of read along here. Basically, Seattle, there is obviously protests and... at some points riots going on, so the police abandoned a precinct
against police.
Yes, and they abandoned one of their precincts and they retreated to try to kind of calm everything down. To get the police out of there, people will calm down. Mm-hmm. Well, they've taken over 6 city blocks, and they've claimed it as their own. I think it's what the news articles say. It's Black Lives Matter and Antifa groups that are a part of this.
Yeah.
They have armed guards on the perimeter, and you have to show your ID to prove that you live inside the perimeter in order to enter. I think it's called. I'm gonna scroll down a little more. I think it's called the Free Capitol Hill or something like that.
I just saw.
Keep going. I saw it was down a little bit lower.
There it is.
Yeah.
Capitol Hill Anonymous Zone.
Autonomous. Autonomous Zone.
Autonomous.
So yeah, basically, they've separated themselves. I've been seeing comments all over Instagram Seattle's fallen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. So, how is the government gonna go about reclaiming 6 city blocks from Seattle? I do not know.
My question is is this what am I trying to say here?
I don't know.
Is this have they actually broken off from the country yet?
Okay, well, obviously, legally,
legally, obviously not, but
yeah, but there's no police. They're policing themselves inside that 6 city blocks.
So they're governing themselves.
Yeah, they're if you're inside the 6 city blocks and you call the cops, they're not gonna show up. You're on your own in there. Exactly. They've got armed guards on the border, so it's pretty. They're making it pretty obvious that's their area.
This is now property of the
Seattle people. Wow. So yeah,
but only if you live in there because you're not allowed to go into like that.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder how that will be approached.
Yeah,
because this is like, from my point of view, like this is something that happens like before like a civil war starts. You know, like people start like going against the government, like
holding guns against the government, holding ground. Like if you think about it, they've set up a camp. They've set up a military camp.
Yeah, they take
in the middle.
They got the police station now. Like
they got everything.
Yeah, so very interested to see how this develops and what happens.
That is crazy to me. This is
Seattle councilwoman taking over the police precinct is just one battleground in a long and hard fight. Now, is that for the government or for the people that took over the precinct?
I don't know. I want to say it's
let's see what's going on.
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, let's just get over it.
Oopsie.
Get that volume out.
Oh, Jarek.
Defiance, these activists, which are
let's restart that.
Have actually put up barricades all around their holdings.
No,
so why didn't the police want to take it back?
It's too late now.
Well, my next guest is here to tell us. Michael Sloan is the president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild. Michael, what's holding the police back tonight?
Hey, Laura, I want to thank you for having me on, as it is my privilege to represent the proud professional public safety officers, 1,300 men and women.
Veronica Corningstone.
Wait a second.
We are beside ourselves.
Actually, he's 4.
The city has lost all the political will to enforce the rule of law. There is an unreasonable activist fringe that is unfortunately stealing the peaceful protest message for justice for George Floyd, and then now they're occupying over a 6-block area of the city of Seattle. It is absolutely unreasonable activism, and
front and center,
pulling our hair out because we are true public safety professionals that took an oath of service, and we are holding our elected leaders responsible for this.
Is this on him too? Is that why they're talking to him? Is this the whole thing on him?
Well, no, but he's like a representative of like the police there. So he's talking about like why they haven't responded.
Yeah, he just knows
apparently, you're saying the city doesn't care. The city doesn't care that they.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was the Seattle People Department? So they spray painted over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Got him.
So yeah, apparently you said the city just simply does not care that these people taking over 16 blocks. And you know what? If that's their city, they can do what they want. You know what?
Exactly. It's their city.
Where are they? Well, they're the most
look at her.
Group that is impacted by this.
Where are they?
Voice? Why is it that
rusty face?
She held that.
Not too good there.
She held that pose.
Yeah, that's not too
unreasonable activist crowd. Why are they taking control of this public safety narrative, which is impacting every one of us?
Well, Michael, and so I think you're being too kind. I gotta say,
yo, shout out the dude with the electric sign.
Yeah, electric sign.
Hold on a second.
That's what I just saw. Wait. Yo, this person has an Amazon box right ahead of him. You see that?
Beautiful city. But this is an unreasonableness.
Okay.
Yeah, we're starting to get opinions in
all
here.
Right, no.
We just simply say the news.
I love how she goes.
Opinions. Listen, okay, that was whatever her face was.
Lauren or Veronica, whatever. Veronica,
Laura doesn't matter.
I love how she goes. Oh, I love Seattle. It's a beautiful city, very liberal, but it's still a nice city. I'm like, okay.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, you just had to throw that in there.
That's so good.
What happened to no opinions, Veronica?
That's so good, Veronica.
But yeah,
Laura.
Those of you watching on YouTube, here's a picture of one of the armed guards. Scroll past it, but
there it is. Some dude chilling with a, what is that?
M4.
M4.
Yep.
With a scope too.
Yep.
Looks like a decently sized scope.
He's got the armor plate. He's all decked out.
Dude, he has a. Oh my god, he has shooting glasses on. I feel like if you're in this point, why do you need those?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
He's all teched out. They got barricades up. They got checkpoints.
Free Cap Hill.
Yeah, free Gap.
Gap?
The Gap sponsored.
The
Gap sponsored.
Gap sets up a store in there. Yeah. Duck Dynasty, just chilling here.
Fantastic.
Hey Nick, this is kind of off topic, but how did you pronounce it? Antifa?
Antifa?
Yeah. Oh, I've been saying it wrong this whole time. I thought it was like Antifa.
Nah, Antifa.
Here are some photos. This is... Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Dude, they got a park.
Look at that.
They got 2 parks.
Well, just look
It's
at
a baseball
they're
field.
chilling. And they got a baseball field.
They got
That's
a
it.
baseball field.
Let them be.
Let them be. Dude, they're gonna create a
Have
team.
fun.
They're gonna create a Major League Baseball team.
The Capitol Hill. Like,
Capitol Hill. I don't
The
still know how to
Capitol
pronounce
Hill
that. I really don't care. Autonomous.
Autonomous
Thank
zone.
you. Zone.
We need to figure out a team name for that baseball team.
Dude,
The Rebels. It has to be the
it has to
Rebels,
be the
right?
Rebels. I think it's only
something
fair.
creative.
Okay, yeah. So that's.
I don't think we can get any
that's
more
that.
creative
I
than
mean,
Rebels, but
I mean, yeah. So that's that. I guess we're on the news.
Yeah.
I kind of took care of all the news.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, next topic.
that's news.
All right, Matt.
Oh, really?
If
If you could travel back in time.
Welcome to interviewing Matt with terribly deep questions.
If you could
Interviewing
travel
with
back
Tim
in time to one point, what would it be and why?
Oh, jeez. Okay, let's see.
Oh, and just so you guys are aware, we've not told him any of the questions.
Yeah,
that
this
way he
is-
has
this
to
is
make
new.
this up on the fly.
This is on the spot.
We wanted to really just put him under
Okay.
pressure here.
If I could
You need to think of
travel
the next question.
back in time to anywhere, that's tough. I know. I'd probably say the 60s,
Wow.
if I'm being brutally honest with you.
Why the 60s?
Because, like, so much, like, in American history happened there.
That's very true. That's
Like,
very
the
true.
Beatles coming to America, Moonwalk, Woodstock,
Civil rights.
Civil rights movement.
Right.
So much has happened that has, like, paved the way to the country that we live in now.
Yeah.
I feel like if we were, if I was there, it'd be pretty cool to see everything go down.
You went history route. We have our answers, and they're not even close to that
Oh,
deep.
here we go.
I would go back to see the pyramids get built because I gotta know how they did that.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta know
That's
how
true.
they
Alright,
built the pyramids.
I
Like,
respect
come on.
that. I respect that.
And I would go back to before humans existed to dinosaur time. Now, hold on. I know you're thinking, oh, he wants to see dinosaurs. No. Think about it. There are so many plants and animals that we haven't found fossils yet that we don't even know existed.
Okay.
Maybe there might not even be fossils of.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
So many things that we have no clue. We
Yeah.
can't even imagine what they would have looked like.
That's true.
So if we go back there, it'd be like entering a whole new world.
That's a fairly good point.
That's what
That's
what I
a
want.
statement right there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If
Yeah.
I could go back in time twice, I'd probably do that too. It's just to see like what creatures like that we don't even know about like existed. You know,
Mhm.
Like, there's could have been anything,
Yeah.
literally anything.
Yeah, literally, it's just because think about all the animals that we found, all the dinosaurs or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And think about how many different animals are on Earth right now.
Mhm.
There was probably that many variations back then,
Oh, yeah. And they
and
got
we
the-
just don't even
they're
know
all
that many
got
like flowers.
crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, flowers, crazy.
Like what was it? We watched in the
trees.
Vsauce video today.
Vsauce.
Hydras don't die of old age. They only
Yeah.
die if they get like a disease or
Yeah.
an accident or like another animal eats them. Like they don't
Mhm.
die of old age. Like
Imagine that.
and like big like mammals like elephants and like whales. Like it's impossible for them to get cancer.
Really.
Like yeah, so
Really?
like it's like people don't know why because like you know you get cancer when like a cell like turns bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously the bigger you are, the more cells you have, so therefore the greater your chance should be of getting cancer.
Yeah.
But like when you look at elephants and whales, like they never get cancer. And, like, it's like why?
Because
I don't know.
Are sweet.
It's weird. man.
Animals are sweet. Next.
You forgot the interview question.
Next question. Next
Gosh.
question. What is your deepest and darkest fear?
My deepest and darkest fear.
Just laying it on him.
Just
This-
wow.
Absolutely.
That's a
laying it on him.
thinker.
Yeah, just think
To be
about that.
completely honest with you guys,
Yep.
my biggest fear is failure.
Failure.
Like I don't know why. When I let people down,
Mm-hmm.
because I have I'm very goal oriented,
Yeah.
and I have huge expectations for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I let myself down sometimes. And when
Yeah.
people want me to do something and I don't do it, I hate that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really I really hate it. Failure is just my biggest fear.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Failure.
I don't think that's a good driving point, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you're so afraid to fail. Well, obviously, it's good to fail.
Yeah,
Because it teaches you you can learn from your mistakes and you can grow and get
Yeah, I
better.
feel
But
a
like
lot.
if you thank you for
Thank
that,
you, Jared.
Thank you for that, Jared.
Providing good input.
But if you have that oh, I'm not trying to fail. I think that can also give you that extra drive, and extra
Yeah.
push
Yeah.
just to keep going and really
Mhm.
chase what you want. That's that way you don't have to,
Exactly.
you don't got to worry about facing failure because you're just stunting so hard.
Yeah.
You don't even matter.
Hmm.
So, Nick, what's your deepest fear? We'll go down the line here.
Dude,
Deepest
I
fear.
don't know, man.
It's funny.
Probably, I don't know. Probably getting to the end of my life and just having a super big regret.
Oh shit.
Because
That's
that's just
that's a real
this
thing.
it's the one thing you can't get back any time.
Yeah,
time's
true.
the one
Can't
thing it's just always falling through your fingers. You can't ever get it back. And it's like, I'm not trying to get to the end of my life and just be like, have that thing in me that's like, I wish I would have done that.
I should have done this
dude,
when I was 20.
that's what kills you right there.
Dude.
It's like, because once you get to that point, you can't go back and do it anymore. It's like, it's over. You had your little window of opportunity, now it's gone. So that's what my biggest fear is. Like, just one day, just having that deep regret in me. And it's like, I wish I would have done this thing. I wish I would have went that way. You know, it's like,
and it's crazy on how many little windows of opportunity we have in life, and it all depends on if you're gonna go through it or if you're gonna.
Yeah, it's like also like it's crazy like how like one decision you make, like one decision you make is like it's gonna change your life, and you don't even realize it. You know, it's like
one decision.
It's like you go to this party, you meet someone, and like that changes your life. Like if you never went to that party, your life would be 100% different. Like it's crazy like how just like the simplest decision can make like the biggest impact. And you?
Death.
Death.
Death scares me. You don't know no one really knows what's next. You know?
No one does.
I'm not trying to get too religious here.
Yeah.
I
mean, why not?
Religious, but, I mean, yeah, I'm not religious. We already went over this once.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to talk about church stuff, and I was like, church stuff. You do church stuff.
But yeah,
that and oceans. It's a pretty wide variety.
Really?
Like deep ocean.
Huh?
Because like I think I'm just afraid of the unknown because death you don't know.
That's true.
You don't know what happens after that. The only people that know it have died, so they can't say.
Yeah, you can't say anything about it.
So, and then oceans, only like 5% of the ocean has actually been explored or something like that.
Okay.
We don't know what's in the ocean.
Yeah.
Dude, I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean, The Kraken. What if that's real? We don't even know.
That's the thing though. Like
there could be stuff that big.
We've explored more of outer space than we have of the ocean.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
is
not
crazy
really by that.
because it's like I watched this Vsauce video, right, and like put everything like into perspective. And it's like if you were like say you hypothetically you're big enough to like hold the earth in your hands, our oceans are actually so shallow that your hands wouldn't even get like wet holding the earth. Like that's how little water is actually in them.
Really?
Like in the grand scheme of things, like obviously to us,
it's
it's insanely big, but if you're like in the grand scheme of things, it's like nothing. It's like nothing at all. And like it's actually just insane.
Yeah, ocean terrifies me.
Yeah.
Like only deep ocean, like shallow, like just going out like in the waves. Not afraid of it all. I know some people are. I'm not. But like if I was like stuck out there in the middle of it and I just looked everywhere and I didn't see anything and I just knew how deep it was underneath.
Yeah, I know. Like I've been like out deep sea fishing before, and I was like just on the boat. I'm just thinking like all the stuff that's just underneath me. I know it just goes like miles.
You don't know.
Too. It's like
you're just looking at the boat going.
So if I were to change, if I were to have one fear, it'd just be the unknown.
Yeah.
And not like the cool unknown, like the scary.
Yeah,
stuff,
but like with that, the thing is like, or like even I guess with that it's like it's gonna happen. Yeah. So I guess there's no point in stressing or worrying about it, right? Because it's like either you're gonna die and nothing happens, and if that happens, you don't even know you're dead, so you don't gotta worry about it because like it's over, right?
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
something awesome's gonna happen, and then you're like epic. Or I guess hell and it's not so epic. Like, when it comes to religion, I feel like it's not about like what's right and what isn't because no one knows. No one knows.
That's very true.
The thing is, like, you look at like how many religions there are, how many different beliefs there are. No one really knows what is out there. I think it's all about what works for you and what makes you happy and you content in life and like what you're okay to believe. Because like, there's people that are perfectly fine being atheists, and there's people perfectly fine being Christians. You know, but like it's like I think it should just be about what works for you, and you should not be like out there trying to like force it on everyone else.
Exactly.
You know? Like it's just what makes you happy, and like if that's how you can live your life peacefully and have peace of mind believing in that. Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
And I feel like we as a society need to like respect like other people. Like a big example is like Christians like saying like forcing stuff down atheists' throat. I'm like, and I'm a Christian. I get it, but it's
like the people that like shove a Bible down your throat.
Exactly.
Dude, I know.
I'm like,
I know one.
I know where
I'm getting now. Oh,
it's like I know where you're coming from. It's a good place, but I'm like, I don't know. Like there's some people that I know that aren't cool with that, and I respect that decision. I don't agree with it, but I respect it.
I think definitely like we need to just someone. Obviously, everyone's gonna have a different opinion than you, and you just need to be okay with that. Like, I feel like in today's age, like even if it's not religion, like even like especially with politics, like any political topic, if you say your opinion and someone is like on the other end of it, they don't. From my personal experience, they don't ever try to actually like have a civil debate with you. They just explode.
Yeah, because
they get angry at you. It's like
so what happens?
Like you turn into the enemy. It's like nothing is gonna change just from you yelling at me. Like if we actually maybe have a civil conversation and like discuss everything about this topic, like that's when change and betterment comes. But if you're just blowing up in each other's faces, just yelling, that does nothing. It just creates more of a divide between each other.
What happens with me a lot is because I'm not atheist, obviously. I'm just not really religious.
Yeah.
Right.
You just don't know.
I just don't know. I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm solid in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
There's a word for it. I don't really care. I'm just in the middle. But I'll have people that tell me, like one specific example. I'm not gonna say who it is, obviously.
Yeah.
But they'll say stuff like you're perfect except for like that. Like you should just go to church. Like all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like personally, me, I really don't care if you go to church if you don't. Like that doesn't change anything about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that kid goes to church, or he doesn't go to church. I hate him.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Swinging a pillow at him. Like, no, it's just not.
Like, it's even
it
with,
doesn't
like,
matter.
Anything like friendships or relationships. I don't feel like you should let personal beliefs or politics get in between like your friendship. Like,
oh, that's another.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys can have different political views. Doesn't mean you can't be friends. Like,
oh yeah,
you don't
I have
you don't have to
heavy,
hate.
heavy Republican friends. That if I say anything to them that are like slightly towards the liberal side, they're like, you know I'm Republican.
Yeah, and it's like
like
bro,
cool. We know you
like,
like Donald Trump.
Okay,
Cool.
He goes,
it's like okay, we can still be friends. Like honestly, like when I'm with people, I don't even try to bring up politics because there's no point. Because I know if I make a political statement that people are just gonna get mad and they're just gonna blow up in my face.
There's
like,
no positive that comes out
like
of this.
maybe if like we would actually like have a civil discussion and like I could actually get something out of it and you could get something out of it, then yeah. I'd say something, but
see,
no.
That's the issue.
People just get mad. They
that's
get
the
like
issue.
angry.
All my
it's
friends,
like, why are you getting angry?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
all of our friends, actually, we can have that conversation.
well, yeah,
definitely.
We could talk about literally anything, and we wouldn't get mad at each other.
yeah, no. But
Exactly.
there's just people
that's
that like
probably friends
as
with
soon
you
as
guys.
you, as soon as you,
Yeah.
as soon as you have a different opinion, they're like you're the enemy. Like I hate you.
Right.
It's like what that? It's like
does not make any sense.
no, it does not.
And the reason
just
why is
doesn't-
because we've learned to like respect each other's opinions and
Of course.
beliefs and
and
whatnot.
you have a friendship already, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna let. They can believe whatever they want. Like that's not gonna squash
Doesn't
the
change
friendship
anything.
I have.
Doesn't change
Like,
the person you are.
yeah, it's like they're okay with what I believe in. I'm okay with what they believe in, and we don't let that get in the way, and everything's fine. You know, you can
100%.
go on with your life, and nothing changes.
Yeah.
You're just perfect. Everyone's okay.
Pretty much.
Believe in different things.
Yeah,
it's all right.
People who take that like way too heavy in consideration to everything.
And obviously, I understand like there's some things that are very important to people.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like very serious topics, but
Yeah, there's some topics that I will agree. Okay, you know, I was just saying I really don't care. There are like two topics. I'm not gonna say them.
yeah,
I'm not gonna say them because like that might, if anyone's watching, they
Yeah.
might know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's two topics that like really do sway my opinion on people. But they're like big topics.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They're not just like
yeah.
they're not like. And I mean, obviously religion's kind of a big topic, but like, they're
But
not.
like
They're
political
not
issues,
that
more like
simple.
political issues.
They're
or...
like big
Yeah.
issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really even more than just like your political view. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, more
So,
just
like-
like your world, like
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
people view.
Yeah, exactly.
almost.
Your
Yeah.
people view. Yeah. And there's only like two things I could think of that would like really sway. I'm not gonna say it, but there's like two things that could really, really sway my opinion.
Yeah.
Just to not to, you know, turn this real quick, but I've looked up more questions because I'm gonna be honest. We prepared one question. That was the first one he asked. So,
welcome to the podcast.
It's great to be here.
I looked up 200 deep questions, and
Wow,
what I found
200?
that I kind of like is
Shout out.
We're going through every single one.
no. So I looked them up. I've looked through. We're on number 95. I found one I liked. If you had the ability to erase something you did in your past, what would it be? Only one thing.
I don't even know.
Only one thing. I know exactly what
I
it
don't
would
even
be.
know how to answer
And it is
that.
dumb, and it's probably a waste. So if you guys want to think, I could explain mine.
Yeah, you can
talk.
explain
I
yours.
need
Go
to
ahead.
think.
6th grade science class.
Oh boy, here we go.
I made a joke. And it did not hit. Okay? All right. What I did, is it was like the teacher, I'm not going to say his name. We're going to call him Mr. John.
Mr. John.
Mr. John. You guys know it was a Mr. at that point. You know who it was if you were in 6th grade. You know, Mr. John. And he had called on me out of nowhere. And I was not ready to answer the question. So to buy myself time, I thought it'd be a funny little guy. And I was like, well, the answer is, according to my calculations, and no one's laughing.
Yeah, no.
But I'm just buying time.
Yeah.
And then he goes, just answer the question. Like, he was not buying.
He was not playing around.
He's not playing with it either. And I'm like, so I say something, and he goes, that's incorrect. And for the next 3 years, I'd wake up at night with that, like cold sweat because of that moment. If I could just erase that out of my life, dude. Ever since that moment, I don't talk in front of the class. That has scarred me, dude.
Wow.
That's why I hate those. Like,
unless I have to, I'm not talking in front of the class. That moment scared me.
Isn't that the worst when you're just laying in your bed?
Dude,
And that thought from
that moment,
years ago just pops in. Like,
moment
I'm not gonna
just
say
hits
till
you, and you're like, "Why did I say that?" It's like, "Oh my god!"
According to my calculations, like crickets in the background.
Yeah, seriously.
And then he just goes, "Get on with the question."
That's what I hate, though, right? It's like, dude, when I get the answer wrong, and the teacher, pardon my French, is just a dick. It's just a whole. I'm like, bro, cut me some slack.
Oh,
it's like I'm here to learn. Like, I'm sorry I didn't get it on the first try.
Oh my god, I've had so many math. I don't know what it is with math teachers. My math teacher this year was fantastic. I actually ended up liking her.
Yeah, same here.
But, dude, so many math teachers, like, you get it wrong, and they're like, I can't believe you got that wrong. It's so easy. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't study that in college.
Yeah, like, you're here to teach me. Like, I don't, like...
Like, especially I'm not going to say what class, actually. My freshman year. You guys know what class it was, probably, because you know me. But no one else does. No one needs to know, because they don't know exactly what teacher I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This man. That narrows it down right there.
That's all you need to know.
This man tormented me. I went in for help. I had no clue how to even start this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, please, tell me what to do. He was like, you need to figure it out yourself. I was like,
how?
Why do you think I'm wasting my study hall coming to your class? I don't like you. You don't like me. We get it. We don't like each other. Tell me how to do it. And he was like, pick up the calculator and do it. So I'm doing it. And he was like, now what's this? And it was like a multiplication. It wasn't simple, but it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
I could have done it in my head, but I had my calculator. So I typed in. He's like, did you really just use a calculator
for that?
Like
on a test?
I started laughing.
And it's like an easy math problem, but you're doing a calculator anyway. It's just like make sure.
Just make sure.
Right? You get it. You gotta make sure.
So he was like, why are you using calculator? I can't believe that. You can't do that in your head? It broke me, dude. I was like, why?
I was like, bro.
Why?
Let me do it on the calculator.
Why? I was like he was just so mean to me. Mm-hmm. Every move I did was wrong, which fair. I did get a 17% on that test.
Oh my god!
I ended with an A in the class.
Oh, okay.
But I got a 17% on that test, so that's probably why he was on me.
That's incredible.
But you know why? Because he didn't help me. I don't understand teachers like that. Figure it out yourself.
Literally.
I'm here for help.
You are here to teach me how to do it.
You are a teacher.
And you're like,
teach is in your name.
Figure it out. It's like, how am I supposed to
teach isn't a job occupation.
Yeah, like always, like, pick up the calculator and do it. It's like, if I knew how to do it, I wouldn't be here asking for you to teach me how to do it right now. Like,
exactly.
It's like, you think I want to be up here during my study hall? I could be watching YouTube and eating chips in the auditorium.
Exactly.
Like, you think I want to be up here right now?
I could be living lavish right now. And I had a good study hall that time because I had 4 of my friends, and we were in the it's not cafeteria. What do we call it? Commons.
Commons.
Yeah.
That's where we're in. It's basically our cafeteria, and like Miss Dog.
Dukin.
Nice.
Miss Dog.
Yeah,
no, we're not using actual names.
Of course.
Miss Dog.
Yes.
She was so chill, dude. Miss Dog. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're talking
Miss Dog, dude. She is so chill. She just let us talk. That was the best day of all.
Yeah.
And I took my time to go up there and ask him for help, and he just threw me away.
Unbelievable.
I start crying. The memories just start hurting me like that.
It all just comes flooding back.
So anyway, what would you guys erase? I would erase my 6th grade science.
It's not an awkward moment because off the top of my head, I know I definitely have awkward moments off the top of my head. You know, it's like what we were talking about on the podcast with Logan. Like when you need to think of something, you just can't.
Yeah.
But for me, just a more responsible thing, I would go back and I would override Mr. J's decision.
I will bleep that.
Yeah, please do. I can't forget and I can't.
Where are we at in the podcast?
But
35.
His decision to make me take chemistry, bro, because that is the worst year of science of my entire life. Is chemistry with Miss Ma'am, bro. That was the worst class I've ever taken. I can't do it. So I would go back. Or change that. You just cannot be taking.
You would change your class?
I cannot be taking that chemistry. There's too much stress that I did not need. Did not need that much stress in my life.
Did you have that with Matt?
No.
We had I had it with I don't know. I guess I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know his name. But
yeah, I was curious if you guys were in the same. I know you guys are in a lot of the same classes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, Matt.
So that would be yours. What do I
got?
I have such a dumb.
I know. I definitely have.
You're bringing out like real.
There's definitely like an awkward moment that as soon as I thought of it, I'd be like, oh, I'm erasing that for sure. But off the top of my head, I can just not.
Then again, I almost feel like because if I didn't erase that, I would have gotten one later.
Yeah.
That moment has just made me not speak in front of the class.
Yeah.
If I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dead silent in class now.
Yeah.
Can't take it. Anyway, carry on, Matt. What's yours?
For me, I had Honestly, I think it's been I shouldn't have been in some relationships that I was in.
Ooh, that's fair. That's honestly.
Either
yeah, you know what? Now that you said
that,
I would just say that, man.
Yeah, I got one that I would definitely just.
Yeah, me too.
I would have
There's definitely a past one that I would like to just give the axe to. And
if I could erase that, I would.
Get that out of here.
Yeah.
I would never even say
either
hi.
for
it's so true.
Either to help. It was either my fault or the girl's fault. Like, it's just, it was...
all around bad time.
There were some where I was just like, I shouldn't have been in there in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel that.
Yeah, no.
That one hits different,
yeah,
dude.
definitely.
Now that you say that,
now that brings that up.
I can think of exactly one that, like, I had people telling me was not a good idea. And then... I got my heart broken later. Sure. It is real feelings right now.
But for me, like, personally, like, I was in this girl, and I wanted to, like, give her, like, everything, but I couldn't, and I really had to call it off because, to be honest with you, like, my mental health wasn't that great at the time. And we're still good friends now, but at the time, it was just, like, not the best idea, and I really hope I...
for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta work on yourself before you can... let another person in your life.
Yeah. You guys have anything else to say on that topic?
I do not.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Next deep interview question.
Deep question.
Yeah.
What's your biggest irrational fear? So one that's like, because obviously like
stupid.
Yeah, like if you have a fear that like to most people wouldn't even make sense.
Okay. Well.
To most people.
You know what I mean? Like, because obviously all the ones we just said, that was like our actual like deep, dark fear.
Yeah.
This is like your fear, like some people are like afraid of spiders,
yeah,
something like
that's
that.
rational, but irrational.
Yeah.
All right, boys, buckle up.
No. Spiders is irrational.
Is it?
Oh, is it really?
Dude, there's some nasty spiders out there though.
Bro,
but a lot of people are scared.
But like some people were like,
the one day at work, my friend pulled a black widow out of the banana box, bro. That is a rat, dude. Stick your hand in to grab some bananas. Black widow bites you. That is a rational fear, dude.
All right.
Okay, now if you're afraid of like you see like a daddy long leg. And you're like afraid of that, or like a wood spider, or like a wolf spider, whatever it is. That's irrational.
Yeah,
but like, there's. You ever seen a picture of a camel spider?
No.
Pull it up.
Okay.
Those of you listening, I need you to pull up a picture right now of a camel spider.
I should have just said yes.
These things, dude. Yes. Like these are over like in like Iraq and Afghanistan. So like the troops always like they'll find them in their boots and stuff.
What in the world is this?
These things, dude. No. That's all I have to say is just no. Like, the picture where the army guys are holding him up. The first one up there.
Bro.
Go to that one.
That's crazy.
No, first one. That one. Look at those things.
That's
there's
how
two
big
of
they
them.
are?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Okay, look.
Like, there's guys who say they wake up and the thing be like crawling on them. Like, that thing is massive.
That is a big boy.
That's bigger than like a rat. Or like, dude, that thing could come in eat your pet hamster. Like,
seriously.
Like easy.
That.
Oh, I mean,
yeah, dude, no. Yeah, those of you listening, look up a camel spider.
Dude,
that has to be a rational fear, right? Like you
that has to be rational.
That is rational.
Because there's so many people that have that.
Oh, sun spider, I guess is the.
Yeah, I heard. They call them camel because they're out in the
wind
desert.
scorpions.
But sun spider, something.
Yeah, dude, that is.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I'm getting weird feelings.
I had an irrational fear.
Okay,
Can I say mine first?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was like very young, I was big into the street. And by that, I mean Sesame Street.
Into the street.
I was big into the streets.
Okay.
There was
this street cred.
There was this one Muppet that scared the bejesus out of me from like birth to around I'm gonna say like 6 or 7 years old.
Okay.
If you want to look this up, Jarek, you can see what I mean. Now for the people watching on YouTube, I want you to go back to your childhood. You're about like 4 years old. And for the listeners, I apologize. We'll try to describe it the best we can.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up with us.
You can look it up with us, actually. Look up Stinky the Stinkweed. I'm not kidding. You will see for yourself. You're 3 or 4 years old watching Sesame Street, and this terrifying thing pops over on TV. Look at that! Bro, tell me like at 3 or 4, that doesn't like scare the bejesus out of you.
That's so good, dude.
Dude,
look at that nose.
Was this like your first memory? Because like you don't make memories to like 3 or 4. Is this your first memory?
Pretty much. I mean, my first memory was just like
Stinky.
It'll get it on the pod. It just says it's
so that's so good.
That
dude.
eggplant of a nose. Oh, jeez.
I mean, I don't think I'd be afraid of this, to be
Though
honest.
I'm talking like 3 or 4
you
years
couldn't
old.
even watch Sesame
Oh,
Street.
dude, run out of the room when that bugger came on.
The
But anyone else I was completely fine with. But when I saw that dude, and you know what's crazy? How he enters like stuff. You know how they have like the Muppets that like talk to them, right? They use their hand. This one, it's just a plant. And you know how when they introduce him, they turn his back around and he like turns around like this to the camera. Scared the living.
It's like a jump
So
scare.
Oh my
He
God.
does like a 180 turn. Just
Yeah, it was my first jump scare experience in life.
Dude,
It's like, oh
And
no!
it's
Like he's got that
stuck
kind of
with- it's
voice. He's
stuck
got
with
that
you.
crazy
that's
voice.
so good.
Oh, jeez.
so good. Hey, hold on. Before we get back into the fears, you said like, that your first memory. You don't make. I have a crystal clear memory. Of course, now I can't remember what year it was. Crap. I think it was my second birthday. Second or third. Second or third. One of those two.
Okay.
But I described the situation exactly to my parents, and they're like, "How did you know that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you mean that was my memory?" Because I thought it was like a later birthday, and it was like pretty young.
Yeah.
But basically, they got me a tricycle.
Yeah, you told me.
I've told you that, right? The bomb tricycle. Basically, they just like they opened the garage door, and like it was there on the other side, and I like walked up and like grabbed it, and like my cousin was standing to the left, and my dad was standing to the right, and like my whole family was there. There was like, and I remember it like crystal clear. And when I described it to my parents, they're like, "How do you remember that?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to," but I do.
Yeah.
That's my first memory.
There's
That's the first thing I remember.
There's people that can recall they remember like being in like the womb and stuff, which I don't know how much that's actually true.
I don't know how
but, like,
true
it's
that is.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely people that because memories don't start to like roughly 3 or 4, but there's definitely people that have way earlier memories than even that.
Yeah, dude. I think that's just my first memory because that was like the coolest thing I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Was that tricycle?
Oh, yeah.
But like,
Speaking of bikes, have I ever told you about the time where I got ran over by a bicycle?
No, man. Please share. Please share.
All right,
Ran over by a bicycle.
I
that's
got
in the
how
title.
old? How old?
That's in the
were you?
title.
around 6 or 7.
6 or 7
years
okay.
old.
Yeah, in the title, Matt ran over by bicycle.
Yeah, that's the title. But
It's gonna be.
anyway,
It's gonna be. Lebanon protest.
$1,500 store.
Yeah,
Matt gets run over by a
Lebanon
bicycle.
protest, Seattle under fire, Matt got ran over by a bicycle, and more.
that'll make people want to watch.
And more.
But no, yeah. So I'm good. So my good friend lived across the street from me. Finally got that out. And we said, hey, let's race with our bikes. I was like, okay, shoot, go ahead. And I lived on a cul-de-sac, and we went
also
around.
on your
Hold on. Can I say that? Weren't you really bad at riding a bike when you were younger?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was bad at a lot of things.
I just had to
Really
clarify that for everyone because I know that.
Yeah.
So this is.
So you were
so
just not good at
So
riding
you can
bikes?
visualize.
No,
this.
I did not have good balance at all.
Carry on.
But yeah, I went around the cul-de-sac. I came back up, and I got off. And I looked behind me, and I just put my bike to the side. He's like, "Oh, I won!" And I turned. Like, kiss my. Then he hit me. I remember going to the ground, and then I felt the second tire just go boom on my body. I had blood everywhere.
So
Did you need like stitches or anything after that?
No, I was completely fine after like 3 or 4 minutes.
Blood everywhere. I was completely fine.
I was completely fine, and I got ran over by a bicycle.
So, okay, was it
That was my
intentional,
trooper
or did you
story.
just like walk in front of him?
Oh, that
Or
was
he,
not
like,
intentional
or was he like,
at all.
Or was he like, this kid just
No,
beat
he just
me?
like I didn't
So
think
I'm
he
gonna
was.
beat him.
I didn't think he was expecting me to just like hop off and just throw my bike to the side, and he just did not.
He just ran you.
That's so
Where did he
good.
run you over?
what parts?
You remember my old house, right?
Yeah.
You know that little front lawn area?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, around on that curb.
Okay. So where in your body?
Wait,
on
what?
the curb.
Like,
on the
wait,
curb.
like where on his body? Where on your body did the bike run you over?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait,
did it run over your head? Like your
Oh
legs?
no, it ran over like my whole body. Like it got me from
Wait,
the
like,
side.
so like
No.
feet up?
Oh no! It shook me from the back, and then I went like this. The people at home are watching on YouTube are watching this. I bent my back like this, fell to the street. Then I felt the first time. I'm like, oh, there's a second one.
There's not
And then I
one
feel
too
like
far behind.
I'm like,
Oh, so it went straight over like that.
oh, straight over.
Oh
my
my!
head.
So like he like ramped off you almost. You got some air.
I was a human
You
ramp.
like popped like bunny hop.
I was a human ramp. That's pretty much what we're going for.
So
God,
good.
man.
Yeah, those were the
Oh,
days.
So he
Man.
like curb stomped you, but with a bike.
Yeah,
You said he was on the curb.
pretty much.
He curb stomped him
That's
with a
so
bike.
good. You literally just
That's-
got mad air off Matt's back. Just hit a nice ring on it.
Dude, that is hilarious. How old were you when this happened?
The 6 or
Oh,
7.
about like
so.
7 or 6.
I think I know
7,
exactly
8
who
years
it
old.
was too. You said across the street.
Yep.
I know exactly.
You know who
who
it is.
That's so good.
That's so good.
So good.
I'm still friends with him today, and I don't think he remembers, but I'm the one who got rid over
That's the one who's got to live with the trauma
I know,
now.
Dude, I
had a lot of fun memories with that kid when I was young because, like, it was me, the kid across the street, and the kid across the street's next door neighbor, and we would hang out a lot. And there was here's another story. So, you know, my dad's, like, a golfaholic. He's an avid golfer. And one day, we had this mat, like this practice mat. And, you know, in my old house, there was, like a hill somewhere in the back.
Yes.
Like a mount, and we could hit balls over it. I remember...
And onto the street on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
There's the main road. There's our main road on the other side of that
mountain. People going 45 down behind my backyard.
Golf ball through
That's why we moved. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, I can't... We're never going to get this story out.
That's so good.
But
dude.
I can't.
That's so good.
Y'all say that's so good simultaneously. But anyway, no, I can't remember who it was, but I remember someone going into the backswing with a driver, mind you, which, if you don't know what a driver is, it's like the biggest golf club there is. He went in the backswing. Again, I don't know who, but I think it was... Oh, gosh, who was it? I forget. I know it happened. I can't remember which one of the two of us it was that went in the backswing, and which one of the two of us got hit by the club in the backswing. But on my mother, it definitely happened. Definitely happened.
Oh, that's so good.
So good.
Oh, man. That was...
It's like a comedy show for me and Nick.
Yeah.
My life is a comedy show. It's...
We're gonna have another special with just you telling stories.
I know.
Yeah,
got...
We should have been focusing on that the whole time.
It's got laughs. It's got tears. It's got everything
Next
in
Matt
between.
special, I need you to write us some stories.
Yeah, dude. We might even make a YouTube special for this, like not podcast. Just like create a show just with Matt telling us stories.
I know.
Just us, Matt entertaining us for 50 minutes.
I have to think of the. I have to go deep
come
into
on
the
our
archives.
podcast
Oh,
and make us laugh for 50 minutes. Thanks.
I'm gonna have to go deep into the archives for
Yeah,
that one. I'm like,
deep
oh,
into your mind.
Dude, all I can think of is when you said something about bike. I crashed on your cul-de-sac. I was riding with my family. I thought I was the coolest kid ever.
Of course.
I'm flying into the corner, and remember his old hill straight down into the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I'm
Straight
zooming,
down.
and I like whipped it.
Actually,
hit gravel and just
I never
flipped.
saw his old house.
Really?
I have no like
really?
reference.
You never came over?
No, I only ever been to your new one.
Down the street, left there. No.
No, never.
Wow.
So yeah, I have actually no reference point for what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's awkward, bro.
I know.
yeah, I don't think I don't think.
I could have sworn I had you over like at least once.
I don't think you actually did.
Yeah, I don't think
Really?
so. I think every time we
You've
hung out,
driven
you
by
were...
his house a million
Well, I
times.
definitely have, but yeah.
Because it's literally like a street over.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, no, I've definitely gone past it before, but yeah, I don't think I.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Oh, so you're hitting the golf balls right over here.
Right on to
Literally.
Yeah, but
when you
the
turn
road
out
right out here.
Main Street, yeah.
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 The one I'm about to take to go home.
Yeah, that's the road.
That's so
It
good.
would be his golf
That's
ball.
so good.
Look at it, he's just like, yeah.
Yep. We didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't have a problem with it.
Our family,
The
we
people
were
driving
We didn't think
45.
much of it. We were just like, okay, shit.
Get the golf ball right through the bust out their front headlight.
Dude,
That's
so
actually
good.
so funny.
That's so good.
Got any more questions?
I do, but we're running out of time here. So I think
Ooh,
all we're gonna do is
Let's play the stink weed.
is relive your bad
what?
memories.
Yep.
Let's give Matt
That's
some
too hard
PTSD.
now. I don't know where it is. This, but
This
Look at
is
his
a
name.
10-minute clip.
Oh. I think so. That scared you? You gotta see him like turn around. He sounds like an off-brand Danny DeVito.
What do you know? It is a caterpillar.
yeah.
I don't want to be a father.
Changing into a butterfly.
Bro.
I don't want to be a father.
I wonder how that feels for Mr. Stinkweed over here. Is that like,
Comes out.
does that like hurt having a
Yeah, is it like a parasite? Like,
You know, because the caterpillar eats the leaves.
Yeah, after, but like when it's just like in the what's it called?
Yeah, after. Yeah, but after it eats the leaves.
Yeah, but like right now, it's in like its little cocoon.
It's not doing anything.
Is it just
going
like,
back to why me?
It's changing into a butterfly.
Oh, it's because he has too much responsibilities for caring for a caterpillar.
Bro, it cares for itself.
Oh, that
it cares
makes
for itself.
sense.
It's in a cocoon. It does its own thing. A plant doesn't need to feed it.
He just said he's got the responsibility, though.
You
gotta
Yeah, it's all
listen
on
to the
him,
streets.
of
Listen
course.
to the streets.
Stinky stinkweed. What am I trying
Look
to
at
do?
that computer.
Look at his typing skills.
Good.
Oh, he's got the glasses and everything. There's Maria! There's the homie Maria on the right.
Yo, what is Big Bird just...
We're just watching Sesame Street now.
Yeah,
This is what the
Stinky the
podcast.
stinkweed is gone, and we're
This is what the
we're
show's
still
gonna
just
do.
watching.
Dude, actually, what is this browser?
Holy 1980s.
Was that actually a browser?
dial-up internet.
1997.
A dial-up?
Dial-up
That's had to be
internet.
like, they just made that
Oh
for the
my
show.
God.
Oh yeah,
we
that's
just-
definitely just a green screen like taped over the computer.
Oh,
right
definitely,
there.
yeah.
Oh man, we just watched
Yeah.
Sesame Street to end this. Well,
That's a good way to end it, I believe.
yeah, we're at 52 minutes.
What a show.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for
Matt,
having
you
me on,
anything to
boys.
say?
Yeah,
You
Matt,
want to
thanks
plug
for
anything?
coming
I'm
out.
done.
You can plug Instagram. You can plug anything.
Well, I mean, if you asked. Follow me on Instagram, at Matt.Kiraly. That's K-I-R-A-L-Y. I know people, they don't know how to spell
We
it.
know you're gonna misspell it, guys.
Yeah,
It's-
Matt.Kiraly. Matt.Kiraly.
Oh,
we
jeez,
don't
I
even
hate-
know. Me and Jared
His
actually
dad
don't
calls
know
my
how
last
it's
name
pronounced.
Kiraly, and I can't stand it.
It's really
Twitter's
up-
the same
it's in the
thing.
air.
It's still up in the air. We're still debating on how it's actually supposed to be pronounced, but
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still up in the air. I've been on this
I
earth
know.
for
I know. My
about
dad
18
says
years.
Kiraly,
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
and he's just never gonna stop
His
saying
birth
that.
can't
certificate has two
stand-
different
low-key, I can't
spellings on
stand
it.
that. I never
Instead
said
of the pronunciation next to
I
it.
can't stand that.
It does. It has like how
Yeah.
you sound it out.
Her
underneath.
Kerr-A-L-L-2 E's. 2 lowercase E's.
Kiraly.
Oh my
But yeah,
God.
that's
Kiraly.
about it.
Well,
Alright,
thanks for
yeah.
coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is a good
Good
time.
time.
We're definitely having you back.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Story times with Matt.
Story times with Matt. That's gonna be the next.
Oh, that's gonna be
Next
a
one.
series.
That's so good, dude.
Dude.
What is all tell stories?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
You can
god.
think of some old stories.
I was
gotta
dying
dig
there for a
deep
second.
in
I
the
probably looked
archives,
so
yeah.
dumb. I was like laughing so hard I couldn't sit up straight.
Oh, my
like
gosh. That's so
rolling
good,
around.
dude.
Oh man,
Yeah, but I think that's all right.
Yep, I think that's it.
All right, we're done.
Yep, we're done.
we're done.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.